important skill to complement the digital skills? Why is it?
You don't always have a computer at your, there's many reasons, but you don't always have a computer at your hand, right? Right on hand, right? Sometimes when you get absorbed into the computer, your mind actually starts thinking in a different way. You're not necessarily engaging the right side of your brain when you're working on a computer, all right? Finally, this is far more rapid than you could ever do it in a computer.
So this is like a constant, pardon my blanket indictment, rap against everybody under 30 right now who's coming into the profession out of school, where somebody my age or Iggy's age will get a new bright employee with great recommendations, one of our best, straight out of Cal Poly, straight out of Woodbury, straight out of USC. And they'll sit down and they'll say, you know, I need 6 options on this site planning this building, or developing a section to bring light into this building, and you know, we need to talk about it 5 today. It's 2 in the afternoon. The typical pathology is that that young person will often sit down and try to make multiple Rhino models and just go, you know, which will maybe take them 2.5, 3 days to do, of 8-hour days, to really examine all those things. And what the older person meant was exactly this. Option A, option B, option C, let's look at them, let's discuss them, and then once we've kind of filtered through this very quick process of ideation, we'll go ahead and invest the time it would take to maybe select two of these and make more detailed digital models out of them and really examine them in detail. And the reason this happens is not because the person is irresponsible or not talented or something. It's just because of the way people are trained in school today. It is a cultural issue in all the institutions that I've been in. And the faculty know it and they work against it, yet it persists. I'm just going to say. I just want you to keep that. What Iggy just said and what I just added to what Iggy said in the backs of your minds as you go through this program, whatever else you do after you leave Mount SAC and get into a professional situation. Remember that. And I'll tell you this too. If you want to work in the design area of your office, wherever you are, and you came into an office that I either owned or managed, and you had facility to draw by hand and work through ideas in a fluent way as well as build them in Rhino, and I have to choose one person out of 5 to come and work with me as an assistant on doing basic conceptual or schematic design, guess who I'm going to pick? I'm going to pick the person that either wants to work in Rhino or Revit and they know nothing else. I'm going to get that person who goes, yeah, let's, you know, I know they can keep up.
We're gonna be harping on you about this from day one until you leave here. And this is one of the issues that we stay in contact with our alumni that leave here. If you walk past the TV screen up there, that's a tiny drop in the bucket of the people that have come through this program. There's probably 70 or 80 of them highlighted on there. That doesn't include the last 2 years worth of people because we don't have time, or it doesn't include people that were further back than 5 years. So that's, I don't know, 3 years or 3.5 years worth of people transferring out. We stay in constant contact with them. I'm still friends with people that took my course when I first started teaching here. He worked with one of them, Pete Lavelle, right? Pete took my ARC-10 class in the old building. I still am friends with Pete. He married my wife's colleague.
How's that beautiful baby?
The second one?
I didn't even know he had a second one.
2. At any rate, my point is, I stay in contact with these students, right? And one of the things that I constantly get feedback, I ask them to come sit on the advisory boards is, yeah, I wish I'd listened to you guys and learned to sketch. Because it really, really, you know, you really need it. And so,
I just want to add like one thing, a couple things to that. And some of you saw this. Right in my pocket, I've got a sign pen. I like drawing with sign pens. Doesn't mean they're better. I just like it. I have a really fat lead pencil that I keep specifically for B leads in. Only for B leads. I have a fountain pen, the nib of which I don't know what I'll do if the pen breaks someday. I'm just completely so a part of this for me is having tools that I love and that I have a relationship with, that I've built up a facility with over years, where I can reach for it and I know what I can do with it. I'll switch to it. You probably saw when I drew with three things when I did Emily's crit. I had a red pencil to lay things out. I had a sign pen to make decisions on small things, and I had a big fat green pen to decide where opaque and transparent things were in the skin of the building we were thinking about. And I was using each tool for those other things. So that's just, I'm not saying you should draw like me, but that's just how I related my selection of tools to the decisions I was trying to make or questions I was trying to address in Emily's project. And at some point, it ceases to be a thing where you go, oh, I got to pick up that sign pen again and sketch. You go, I can't wait to draw with that. I get to pick up my favorite fountain pen again. And it's got my ink that I mixed myself. And nobody has this ink. And the drawings I make with it are unique to me. And, you know, and I can see my thought come out in the paper, and I can share it with other people. It's a wonderful thing.
and it's how architects communicate. I mean, you guys see that we're constantly scribbling on everything. When I had my practice, Hero used to get mad at me because I would scribble on anything, including contracts. And then you'd have to go erase it, and you'd yell at me and that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's a problem, but that's the way we think, and that's the way we communicate. I mean, every day when I leave here, there's just, you know, hundreds of papers produced from interactions with students or interactions between colleagues.
Best draftsman that I went through school with was not a man, it was a woman, and she only drew with #2 pencil, like Iggy.
I'm a very unstructured person.
Hey, she was the best draftsman.
It's like whatever is there.
She was the best draft person in the school when I was there.
Okay, so guys, I think what we'll do is split up and continue with the crit process. I want to just clarify that the only thing that may be a little bit different than what you guys were expecting is that we are starting the design of Project 2 at the beginning of next week. Okay? So, because I think there was some confusion, you were confused and stuff. It does not mean that you should not be finishing this up. It does not mean that you shouldn't have a digital model of this already, if you already learned how to do spatial subtractions. The design for this should be finishing up, and you should be able to, in your digital studio, produce the presentations that are required, right, to be able to pin up and present your project.
So our new review for this problem, our new date for that review is going to be a week from today.
I got to look at a calendar.
Okay.
I got to look at a calendar, so I don't know.
Okay.
Uncharted waters.
Okay.
So
you'll let us.
Yeah.